Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sports Talk Show. Say what you need to say. This is Gary Chicken Ingram, and I am here on this Wednesday, May the 8th, 2019. Hey, fellas and women, I hope everybody's having a good hump day this week. I am myself, enjoying the rest of this week, waiting for this weekend. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a few topics that I think a lot of people are going to want to talk about. And the Major League 2019 draft is around the corner. That's going to be one topic we talk about. Next topic is going to be whether we should draft a high school player versus a college player, the pros and cons of that. And also we're going to talk about college players being a little bit different now than they were 20 years ago. Then we're going to end the show talking about some MLB news about a pitcher who just threw the 300th no-hitter in Major League Baseball. And that guy is Mr. Mike Fiers that we're going to be discussing. But we have a special guest call on the line today, people. One of my buddies from the coaching ranks. I got a Mr. Richardson out of Austin, Texas on the line with us tonight. Mr. Richardson, how you doing, man?
How you doing, Mr. Chicken?
Hey, you the only one that's called me Mr. Chicken, man, in a while, man. I can't believe you called me Mr. Chicken right there, man. Oh, my gosh. You just blew my cover. How's that weather out there in good old Austin, Texas, man?
Austin, Texas weather is crazy right now, man. We've been getting flooded out. A lot of rain the last couple of days, I should say weeks. There's been a lot of rain, man. So,
wow.
We're getting swamped over here. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? That rain has been coming our way, too. I think you guys always get it first, and then we'll get it second. And it's been a pretty wet spring going into the summer so far. But, man, we got some topics tonight to discuss. Man, I know, you've been in the coaching ranks for some time as well as myself. I just retired from coaching after being in it for 18 years. And, wow, that's a long time for both of us. How long were you in the coaching ranks, Mr. Richardson?
I coached ranks for 8 years, Chicken. And let me correct you. You haven't retired. You have taken a little time off. You have not retired, sir. You have taken a couple months off, sir. You have not retired.
I appreciate the words of encouragement, man. But, hey, I'm coming up to that big old 5-0, so, maybe it is time to do something else. I don't know, but baseball is always going to be in my blood. And speaking of baseball, we're going to dive right into these topics for tonight for the listeners and viewers. We're going to say what we need to say, but we got to keep it clean, Mr. Richardson. But I want you to give your opinion and your true words so the listeners and viewers out in the YouTube and the Facebook world can hear what you have to say. The first topic we're going to touch on is the MLB 2019 draft that's just around the corner, man. How excited are you for this year's draft?
I'm very excited. It looks like we got good talent coming out, so it's going to be something to see.
Okay. You know what? I tell you one thing. I'll go back to a story about myself. I was a 44th round draft pick. I was blessed enough to be able to make it to the major leagues after 3 years. But, man, when that draft came around, I went to high school, and then I went over to Middle Georgia Junior College to play at junior college. And the draft came around, I was sweating in my boots because all I wanted, Ms. Richardson, was a chance, just to get a chance to play professional baseball. And the Los Angeles Dodgers sent me a telegram in the mail in 1990. I remember like it was yesterday, and said that I was drafted by them in the 44th round. Now, with my situation, I did go to junior college for the first year. I didn't sign out of high school, but they had a thing where they call a draft and follow back then. And the Dodgers drafted me again. I got drafted as a catcher in 1990, and announced to me, I guess a lot of the coaches thought I was better suited to be a second baseman, so I went from catcher to outfield to second, which is where I made my major league debut. Mr. Richardson, did you ever get a chance to play major league ball?
I did not. I did not play the full season. Got to play a couple spring training games, but never got a chance to stay up and play a whole season. I did not.
So who was it?
Just like you.
Uh-huh.
I got drafted in 91 out of high school as well. And I know that's one of your topics, high school versus college.
Oh.
And back then in the day, everyone was persuaded to, if you got drafted out of high school, to go. But as you know now, the table has turned. So it's a different situation as me playing, and I've been in the coaching ranks as well.
Uh-huh.
And I look at it a little differently now.
Oh, okay. So you say you got drafted out of high school?
Oh, yes, sir.
Wow. I was a junior college guy. You was a high. So that's gonna fit right into the vein, man, of what we're gonna be discussing tonight. But the draft. I think the draft has turned more into. It's almost like a big showcase, man, because everybody, every network, everyone is paying attention to these major league drafts that start in June every year now, man. And it's almost like it's like the big dance now. But back then, shoot, we were just happy to just get a piece of paper in the mail. But now, hey, these guys coming in full suits, full tuxedos, and I'm gonna move on over to our next topic, to where we're talking about the draft. Now, in the draft, Major League Draft, the teams are either gonna draft a high school player and a college player. And what I want to talk with you, Mr. Richardson, is some of the pros and cons. And it's great that you was a high school draftee and I was a college draftee, so both of us can kind of get a perspective on what we think is better. Now, first question I got for you: why do you think, or if you think, do you think a high school player is a better player to get drafted over a college player in the draft? What do you think?
I don't. In my experience now of coaching the last several years in the professional ball, I think that you got to be careful when you're drafting a high school player. I guess it's on the players. If you're getting a high school player in the first round, second round, you're getting a more mature player who's probably better developed with his tools, and it's probably a little bit more mature. So you just got to be careful with the high school kids. You don't want them to get in pro ball and after 3 years you're done.
Right.
Opposed to a college player, you get someone who's been off and has been in college for 2 or 3 years, and I think their maturity level is a little better, and their skill set may be a little bit better, and they may be a little bit more mindful of what they're trying to do.
You know what? That's a great point, man. And I'm gonna jump ship on you. Because, and I know I ain't saying this because you was a high school drafted player, but I kind of beg to differ. I kind of agree with you on the college player being a little bit more polished, but the reason why I say a high school player, in my opinion, would be the better draft choice is because you can mold. I would use an example of a ball of clay. A college player has been molded in the collegiate level a certain way, you would say, right?
I would, yes.
And a lot of different college programs are wound differently. So they're probably going to be molded to that mold when they get drafted. Now, the reason why I say I think a high school player is more valuable because I say, number one, his ceiling is a little higher. He can be taught at the younger age of what a professional major league organization want him to become. And I think sometimes those high school players, they'll listen a little bit clear, a little bit more. I ain't saying college players don't listen, but like you said, some college players are a little more polished, got a little more experience, and some of those college players, I think, have already reached their peak when they go into the draft. Not saying all of them. So there's not a whole lot of room for error with a college player. With a high school player, I think that it's just more time to develop them the way you want them to develop, and they're learning as they go along that process in the minor leagues. They're getting more mentally strong, they're getting physically strong, and I think that's a big key for me. What do you think about those thoughts?
I think the key thought you said just a while ago, you said they are getting mentally strong. Sometimes you get a high school kid out, and the majority of them, they have not experienced failure because they got drafted out of high school. I mean, as a high school player, meaning that they had a lot of success, and they have never experienced any type of failure. That's why they're drafted so high and going right into professional baseball. Wow. With that being said, I think that their mental aspect of how they deal with failure, in my experience, is different the way a college kid that comes out of college deals with failure. So what happens is you get a high school kid, that failure that either can make him or break him. And a lot of times I see it kind of breaks them. So they're in high school, they're 18 years old, and just say they're in professional baseball for 4 years, now they're 22 years old, right. And now they're pretty much saying they have been label, a mark like he's not going to make it. He can't make it. He's 22 years old, and he's been playing 4 years football, and they say he can't make it. Opposed, you got a college kid coming out. He's 21,
right,
22. His mental aspect is a little different. He can handle failure a little better, a little more. He knows what it looks like or whatever.
Right,
so at 21, 22, at least that college kid, he's going to get to be 24, 25 before they say, no, he can't make it. Opposed to you got a college, a high school kid, he's 22 now. Right. He just developed,
right,
his mindset. But in others' minds that, okay, he's labeled that he's not going to make it. He's done.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Richardson. You got a great point right there, but I'm going to throw another curveball at you. You said that the mental side, the college player is going to be stronger. Now, think about this. I think when you get the high school player, that has to be put into consideration at how fast, how much you give that kid in his developmental phase, correct?
Absolutely.
Now, you are a high school player, so I can use you as an example. When you got drafted, do you feel like things were shoved down your throat too quick? Or did they feed you at a rate to where you eventually, gradually got better? Which one was you?
I think I gradually got better at 18 years old, coming from a small town, and like I said, never experienced any type of failure before. And you're going into professional ranks, and and you kind of get wide-eyed, big-eyed. So you got to deal with trying to get organized and being off on your own.
Right,
We're not talking about baseball stuff. We're just talking about day-to-day stuff. So you got to learn to do that. So here comes professional baseball thrown at you. So you got to be able to jump right in and do those types of things.
Absolutely.
I think that the team I was drafted by, they was patient, but also with patience, there's also a time on patience. So at some point they look at you, you're 21, 22, and they're like, I don't think he's going to make it. But right when they start saying you're not going to make it, that's when you're at your peak. But understand, every year you got different draft coming in. So you got different kids, different guys coming in or whatever. So you got a certain amount of time to show them that you're going to be their guy. And just like college guys, their clock starts ticking when they walk through the door. High school kids, I think their clock, they get by a good year, and then their clock starts.
I understand. Boy, Mr. Richardson, you saying what you want to say tonight, man. I appreciate that, but, I'm going to say what I need to say. And me and you are both making very valid points, because being a high school player, never failing, and you get in the spotlight in professional ball where you were around grown men, that could be a culture shock for some high school players. That's why the scouts and stuff had to do a lot of homework on high school players, because really, as a high school player, you really don't know what you got. You signing a player that probably has the ability and the skill set, but you don't know what you're going to have. And of course, with a college player that's been in college ball, traveling around on planes, they're exposed to more things that could be conducive to minor league professional baseball. So you are right on point, and I think I am right on point too. But those scouts, man, they got some homework to do, whether or not to draft a high school player or a college player. It seems that high school players get more money because they have more time to develop, because from what I've heard, they say college players at the age of 23, 24, they should be knocking at the door of the major leagues, correct?
They should be.
And a high school, like you said, you mentioned a few minutes ago, a high school kid, if he's 22 and he's not doing what they think he's going to me, that's still kind of young to be just throwing it out to the trash, because you still have time. But you made some valid points. On to the next topic, jumping on these college players bandwagon. Now, I'm going to ask you this, Mr. Richardson. College players today, they are much different than they were 20 years ago. And the reason why I say that, because 20 years ago, or longer, if we might say for us, the schools today, I visited some college campuses and baseball facilities. Oh my God, OMG, people. They got some of the newest technology. They got some of the top-notch first-class facilities, man. And also, the college players today, they're getting introduced to the new baseball language of the launch angle, the cybermetrics, and the analytics, man. How do you think the college players are a little different from the college players from 15, 20 years ago?
I think the college players are different from today, from where they were 20 years ago. I'm telling my age in a minute, but 20, 30 years ago when you came by name, I came by 91. Yeah. But the same kids that was from 1991 when you and I came out, whatever, we were going into the draft. Which these kids now, they're not going to draft; they're going to college because like you said, because other facilities, other programs, the big programs, and they're overwhelmed, and they get to go to colleges with nice facilities and all the amenities that they have. So they're showing that. So you have a choice. Am I going to go to this big, nice D1 college, or am I going to go to minor leagues at 18 years old and run on the bus and be in rookie ball for 2 or 3 years? Right. So you really got to understand that. I always say that in my mind that now, if you're that kid and you're good enough to get drafted out of high school, you're probably going to be good enough to get drafted out of college too.
Great point.
Why not go to college and get that experience?
Great point.
And get that college experience and learn all these different skills that they have. Right. Of course, when you're out of high school, you're going to get the professional things with all the analytics they got going on now, but they have that stuff in college too.
Absolutely.
So, and it's pretty big. I think college had it first more so than professional ball have. So I think those guys got maybe a little bit more understanding, so they're not coming in professional ball so wide-eyed.
Wow.
So they can speak the language, that is getting spoken to them.
Mr. Richardson, you just opened up a new can of worms, man. I ain't never been fishing with, man. Oh my God. Hey, I need to copyright that statement you said. You said, this is a great statement. You said the college players were already kind of involved in the analytics, cybermetrics of the game now that's in the minor leagues. That's a great point, man, because they were doing this. They are serious numbers, guys. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. And like to say, if they are exposed to that early rather than later, then it should be easy for them to transform into that. Now, talking about this cybermetric analytics, it's been in the game forever. It's just done differently now than it was 10 or 15 years ago, but it's been there because you always got to have information for the games. But the new language amongst hitters is launch angle. And I know you've heard it from time to time over the last few years, and I have as well. Now, for me, I asked some players that what do they think launch angle is. I asked high school kids, I've asked college kids, and I asked professional hitters. And most of the answers that I got was they trying to lift the ball. That was one of the main responses that I got. And I asked them, I said, why would you want to lift the ball? They said, because I want to have a better launch angle. And I asked them, so what if if you have a launch and you're trying to lift it, you're normally going to try to swing up, right, to lift it? They said, yeah. I said, so what if a guy pitches you up? And I get a blank answer. So this launch angle thing has really taken over the last few years, and it's like the new language in Major League Baseball, minor league baseball. But I do have a few stats to say that maybe the launch angle is for certain people, maybe it's not, because right now in the last 2 years the strikeouts in the major leagues has gone up tremendously, and there are more swing and misses in the major league level right now as well because of hitters with the new launch angle swing. And also in the minor leagues, the averages are going down. The top prospect averages are going down. They're striking out a lot. And I've heard from some friends of mine that are coaching in minor leagues, they said the players are getting kind of frustrated. So what is your take on the launch angle that's going on in baseball today?
I think you hit on a little, you said a while ago. I think launch angle is someone that is their natural swing. But for me, I think that a player needs to know what a swing is before they try to add another weapon to it, which could be the launch angle or whatever. Some people, that's their natural swing. They have that uppercut, that upper swing,
right.
In them. So
right.
I think that those kids or players have it in them or whatever, that's what you work with. But I don't think that you try and go and clone everyone to mimic what someone else is doing because it looks like it works for them.
Absolutely.
You got to be careful when you do that. You may have a bigger player. Someone comes to mind like a big strong guy like maybe Mark McGuire. You know, he can have that big long upward swing in his swing. Then you take a little guy, you know, that's kind of little
right.
or smaller. I don't think we'll be teaching him a launch angle swing if that's not in his swing. He's down through the ball, old school, which baseball was made to be.
Right.
With that type of swing down through the ball, and I think that's going to come back. For the simple fact, pitchers, these major league pitchers, these guys are very skillful. They can put the ball in pretty much in a keyhole if they want to. So back in the day, everyone was, you know, pitchers, they was taught to throw at your knees and draw the ball down at your knees. They can hit the point. So why do you think that they can't change it and say, okay, now I'm going to throw the ball to your belly button, to the top of the strike zone? They can do that because they're professional baseball players. They're skillful to do that. So what happens when they adapt to the launch angle? So do we go back to the old swing again?
Probably. That's probably what's going to happen. Hey, you hit it right on the head, man, and you said it. Major league pitchers, they got scouting reports, just like we have scouting reports on the pitchers. And if they see a guy that I guess is, you know, trying to lift the ball with an uppercut swing, they're going to throw him up in the zone. If they see a guy that has a short, solid contact swing, then they're a little tougher out. And I would say this, the last two teams that won the World Series, which was the Houston Astros and the Boston Red Sox, I heard that those teams pretty much don't teach the launch angle terminology. They are taught to have competitive at-bats, short, quick swings, hit line drives, get another pitch. And those two teams were the epitome of a team that played the game right. And now, you know, it's up to organizations to, you know, implement whatever they feel. But, you know, there's a lot of different factors, you know, that's in baseball right now. And like you said, the college players, they've been involved in that. And, you know, they probably can make the adjustment a little quicker. Great answers, man. Great points. You right on point, Mr. Richardson. But we're going to move to the next and final topic tonight. Talk a little bit of Major League action. A no-hitter, that's something that a pitcher dreams of, man. And we have a pitcher that just tossed his second no-hitter in his career and the 300th no-hitter in Major League history. And I'm speaking of the Oakland A's pitcher, Mr. Mike Fiers. This guy just tossed his second no-hitter against the Cincinnati Reds the other day, and his first one was against the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2015, man. I tell you one thing, man. Throwing a no-hitter, that's tough. I'm not even a pitcher, and I can't believe, but this guy has two. Hey, man, do you think in the launch angle era right now, do you think there are going to be more no-hitters that are going to be thrown?
I don't think so. I think it's very tough to do. I mean, if you look now, they're on the pace to break the record for home runs this year. I mean, they're killing the ball right now. So for that guy to go out and pitch a no-hitter on the other day with this day and time when everyone getting the ball, and I'm pretty sure the guy is trying to drive the ball down, and these guys are swinging up.
Yep.
And, man, he was able to get through 9 innings without anyone hitting the ball out the park or getting a good shot on it. That's incredible. That's incredible. And I don't think that would happen more times than often now with the swing that the guys have now. So the guys did a good job, man. You had a little bit of luck in there, and you had some skill involved. But all in all, it happened, and it's a big congratulations to the guy that did it.
Hey, and you know what, too? Going back to the point we were just talking about the launch angle, you just said pitchers are taught to throw down, and the hitters now are having that uppercut swing, which is allowing them to cover the ball down. Now, the smart pitchers, they're probably going to pitch up in the zone. That's what I would do, but pitchers are taught to pitch down in the zone, correct?
Absolutely.
So if they are throwing down in the zone to where that bat plane of the launch angle is going, they're going to get crushed. So guess what? It's going to be battle of common sense or battle of how do I get this guy out? So that's just going to be up to the major league pitchers and pitchers in the game today to figure that out, man. But I have been watching guys, and I've noticed that when hitters are struggling, the pitchers that are throwing to them have been pitching them up in the zone just because they got that uppercut, launch angle type of bat plane going right now. And don't get me wrong, you said it earlier. Everybody, you can't clone everybody to be the same. Every hitter has to know, number one, what type of hitter they are. Number two, I'm a true believer that you have to learn how to hit first before you can start manipulating anything in a swing. Because if you can hit, you can do some other things a whole lot easier than if you're trying to do something that's really hard to do right out the gate and then you try to hit. So, you know what, man? You made some great points tonight, Mr. Richardson. Congratulations to Oakland's pitcher Mike Fiers for throwing his second shutout, one in 2015, and now he got one in 2019. And Mr. Richardson, you know what, man? Good talking to you. Is there anything you want to leave with the listeners and the viewers tonight about what we discussed as far as the Major League Draft, high school player, college players, pros and cons, and also the new language of cybermetric analytics and the launch angle that's going on in today's game?
I think you did a good job of hitting on all different points of it. Chick, it was great. So, I mean, I think everyone who's listening to this, they can take away some good things from this, from the things that you have to say. So, I mean, what the game is going in now, you know, it's all about adjustment. You know, it's all about adjustment. So you just can't sit and just keep doing the exact same thing all the time. You gotta keep moving. It reminds me of this book that I just read called "Who Moved My Cheese?" And you just can't sit and think things gonna be the same all the time. And you took 10 years ago, and everyone has adapted and changed, and did things like you still do things the same way. And you're going to wonder why everyone else is way ahead of you. So that's why you got the analytics and simple metrics and all the different things going on and launch angles. People are trying different things to get to one up you. So that's why, you know, I think guys it'll be to their disadvantage if everyone didn't do their homework like they're doing now and trying to figure out, you know, what their organization is doing over there to be better. You're just trying to pick it and choose what best works for your organization and trying to compete with that. So
absolutely,
if it's the draft, if it's the launch angle, whatever it is, you know, you try to draft guys who fit into your organization and they can and they can help you out.
Absolutely. You said the key word. It's all about making the adjustments. That's what it's all about, especially in the game of baseball. Mr. Richardson, we appreciate it, man. Hope you have a great week and a great weekend. I hope to get you back on the show soon. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Mr. Chicken, I really appreciate you having me. It's my pleasure, sir.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Mr. Richardson.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Mr. Eric Richardson out of Austin, Texas. Boy, he came strong tonight, and we hit on some can be some touchy subjects in the game of baseball. But hey, on this show, it's called Say What You Need to Say. And he said what he needed to say. I said what I needed to say. We kept it clean, but he did an outstanding job bringing up points about, why a high school player and a college player should be drafted. We also talked about, college players being different today than they were 15, 20 years ago with the new technology, launch angle, cybermetric analytics, and facilities are off the chain at these Division I schools. Even the smaller schools now are catching up and have A+ facilities. And also, we wanted to wish a congratulations to Mr. Mike Fiers with the Oakland A's for throwing his second no-hitter, one in 2015, one in 2019. And this is the 300th no-hitter that's been thrown in Major League history. Now, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors for tonight's show. Investo Sports, online sports trading platform. It's the revolutionary new way to engage in trading. Super easy. Investo Sports' goal is to be an online fantasy sports stock trading platform that allows individuals to buy and sell fantasy shares of professional sports teams 24/7. Individuals on the platform can earn profits when the sport team they own win and or appreciates in value. Investo Sports has transparency, stability, security, and time. I need you to go to www.investosports.com so you can change the way you play. Check them out, people. I'm already a member of them right now. That's another way to get into the fantasy league of sports. Also, want to thank sponsors Ground Pounder Graphics. at 485 Buford Drive, Lawrenceville, Georgia, Suite 204. They specialize in vehicle graphics, dye sublimation, digital and screen printing, and much, much more. Ask for Frank or Sherry, and they do quality and timely work. To get in contact with those two, you want to contact 678-380-6322 or email them at groundpound1971@gmail.com. You need to get over to Grounder Pounder Graphics, ladies and gentlemen. They are unbelievable. They even do my golf shirts for me for my website. And don't forget to go on Facebook and go on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave your comments. Leave a contact number. My contact number is 706-464-0090 or email me at Gary, Garey, Ingram @yahoo.com. Great show tonight. We will see you guys later in the week. Have a good one, people.